Okay, so uh, as you guys know, I've had a lot of issues as far as just getting my final project up and running. So I've got that done. I've got the compiler issues all taken care of. Not to say that we won't add any as we change code, but hopefully we won't. But I have the code compiled, and I'm able to access the files, although the files aren't fully complete because they were templated, uh, you know, with the intent that I'd eventually fill them in. Um, but obviously that got put on the back burner when we get all our compiler issues. But anyway, so I've got it going now. I've got a lot of printout statements here, just to help me debug, because sometimes I just find the printout statements easier than going through the actual debugger. But the program works in the sense it compiles and it loads. Like these are all just printouts, just kind of letting me know what functions I'm in at the time, and I'm accessing a lot of different files, uh, even more than are shown here, just to get my information for the project. Um, but ultimately, what would normally print out would be an introductory message when you first come into the game, and then you have some commands you can type in, like you can say look, and it shows you are in Riverbank. Description of location, blah blah blah, something something something, another line of random text. Then it tells you the items in the location, and in this case, there's nothing here. You could also do show, which is supposed to kind of show an excerpt from like from the chapter that this stage is associated with. Um, but again, you can see that I don't have anything in here just yet. Riverbank description of the location, blah blah blah. Again, I don't really have anything. Obviously, we have some directions. We can go north. Now I'm where I'm in the river. So this is what I'm getting at. This. So I'm in the river. I can go south and get back over the river. Obviously, like now I'm in the river bank. I can go east. I'm at the rabbit hole. I can again look around, see what's at the rabbit hole. Oh, there's a jar. Also, my function's not working for take. I'm supposed to be able to take that jar, and it's saying there is no jar, but it just said there was. So I'll have to sort that out later. But again, look, show. But here's the thing: when I click show, I'm not getting. Well, in this case, it did show something. It said rabbit hole description, so it's giving me rabbit hole description. I'm gonna go click show again. Okay, I'm gonna click look. Okay, I'm gonna go west. I'm in the Great Hall. So here's the thing: when I click west, I'm supposed to. There's supposed to be text that shows up when I first enter a new location. So I just entered the Great Hall, or the Riverbank, I guess. Not the Great Hall. I just entered the Riverbank, which I shouldn't have been able to from where was I? I can't remember. Let me see. If I'm at the Riverbank, if I go east, I'm at the rabbit hole. If I go south, and I'm in Twiggs Landing, so I shouldn't be able to go west. No, wait. I shouldn't be able to go east, I don't think. East. Shouldn't be able to go east. Okay, no, because that should be a dead end. I shouldn't be able to go south. That's a dead end. I shouldn't be able to go north, I don't think. That's a dead end. So the only way I should be able to go is west when I'm in the Twiggs Landing, because that takes me to the Great Hall. So now I'm in the Great Hall. But the problem is, when I enter the Great Hall, we can see that a -1 is showing up here. So I'm in the function output narrative text when player enters location. Again, and the method does what it sounds like. It's supposed to output some text, some narrative text, when the player enters the location, when I enter a new location, i.e., when I left Twiggs Landing and entered the Great Hall. Okay? I'm supposed to, and you can see that there's also some other stuff. This is off for other reasons. This is just hard coded um, troubleshooting code, I think. But when I entered this, I should be getting narrative text based on the location. This -1 is supposed to be the int associated with the location. this is supposed to be a switch statement. So let me show you what I mean by that. This is the function right here. Let me just close this. This is the function, output narrative text when player enters location, that takes in a parameter, formal parameter of type int, representing the location. And so when I was printing out the location, well, that was showing up as -1. And when I was printing out the switch statement, I'm getting -1, which obviously doesn't correspond to any of the switch statements. I guess I don't even have a default. So I probably should have a default, in which case that would have shown up. So probably should have done that, but let's just do that right now. And then some text excerpts from the novel, but we're going to say default. Some default text. And we don't need a break. Default. Let's just rerun that. Okay. So let's just go east. So some default text. Okay, so as you can see, we're still getting a -1. It doesn't matter where we are, but the location should be different. It have a different number depending on the map where we are. So that's an issue I need to sort out. So I'm going to look at how we're going to sort that out. Let's take a look actually at another spot where we're using location. I had an issue earlier in this code that it was giving me a similar error where it was constantly giving me -1 when I needed something else. It was actually throwing an index out of range or something exception. And what it ended up being was I had map here. So instead of this, I had map.at. And what that was, I was trying to access map is the vector of type location. So it's a vector of locations, objects, associated with this class. So the Wonderland map header file, where's that? Wonderland map header file. There's map is the private instance variable, which is just a vector of type location. Because Wonderland map, the user-defined class I created, extends vector, vector of type location. So map is the private instance variable of the vector of type location. So what I was doing was, where am I now? So I forget which one I changed. I assume it was this. But anyway, bottom line is when I'm going map.at, I'm calling the at function on map. Well, I'm calling the at function on map, which is a vector of type location, but it's not. This method, index of, is an instance method that will be called using dot notation attached to an object. So I don't use map, I need to use this, referring to this object where that this method is being called on, and the dereference it arrow operator to dereference pointer, because again this is a pointer to reference the object that index of is being called on, and I need to dereference it, and then I need to dereference it and then call the at method associated with it, and then this will get me the location of that map, and then I get the name of it. So I was having a similar issue here, so I think that there might be something similar going on in the other piece of code. So even this, I should be going something like this. I really need to replace all these. So. I'll leave that one there, just let it screw up when it comes time so that I can catch it. But anyway, so I'm getting a -1 in my other piece of code. Where am I? Okay, so I've lost where we were, so I'll have to find it. Okay, so output narrative. So yeah, let's take a look and figure what this is. So I should be getting a location object passed in here where output narrative is, but we know right away it's not. Oh, you know what? Because I'm taking an int. I'm gonna have to find out where I'm calling this method and see what I'm passing in there. So let's see. We've got it there. We've got it there. So when I go north, so yeah, when I go a certain direction, I'm passing in map.indexOf. Map.indexOf, which map is referencing the map, which is the instance variable of this class. And I'm calling map.indexOf. And I'm passing in as its argument player.getLocation. This should return a location. Let's break this down and do a couple steps at once. Because map, so the indexOf method is going to that method I showed you right here. That's calling this. So that's coming here, indexOf, passing in a location, which I've got a lot of code. You know what? I just changed this. Maybe it was only working here because I had this changed to this in the arrow pointer, but that was all for just the debug code. I never changed this to this arrow. This was still map, which wouldn't have worked. That's why it's probably returning. So you know what? This might work now. Let me just change this. Actually, I said I wasn't going to, but let me just change it. Maybe it will work now. Let's just try that. Save everything. Stop this. Okay. North. Okay, so that's what it was. So that, because now I've got 21, because I'm in the river, which I believe is 21. And if I go south, I should be back to 0 or 1, whatever. Enter yes or no. Oh, I have to, yeah, I don't want to hear. Well, yeah, let's hear a riddle. How far down is the center of the earth? I don't know. I think something like 4,000. Sorry, but that's the wrong answer. Do you want to take another guess? No. That's all right. Riddles aren't for everyone. I know. So let's go south. So now I'm back into 0. So you know what? That was my issue. So my problem then was this. That I had corrected an issue earlier, realizing that indexOf is an instance method, meaning it's called using dot notation, called on, an instance of, well, let's just show you. It's called right here on an instance of map. Map being the vector that holds all of the locations. It's a vector of locations, and I'm calling the indexOf method on that. So it's an instance method being called on map, but in the original code, I had map dot everywhere in here, which again is weird because it's now just kind of map, it's not referring to the object this is called on, and so it wasn't working. It was constantly giving things. So I changed the this and arrow operator referring to this, meaning the map that this index of method is being called on, the thing using dot notation. I'm referring to the pointer associated with that object, and then using the arrow operator to dereference it, and then use the at method associated with that vector. And I fixed it in my debug code, which is why I kept seeing it, but I neglected to fix it down here. This was still saying map.size, which is what was causing the issue. So again, if we just show it again, this is where the issue arose, because if I do that and I go into a location, doesn't matter where, I can go into the river north, it gives me this -1 error, because I'm not actually, I'm just returning -1 always, because I never go into the for loop, because map.size is not a thing I'm accessing. So I needed to dereference this. So anyway, that was my error, so glad we can sort that out. I don't know if I would have been able to do that if you guys weren't here helping me out. So I appreciate that. Because now, like I said, I'm a step closer. Boom. So, yeah. I think it's about 4,000 miles. No. Anyway, talk to you later.